just for a few moments as the stream spools up. But if you're watching me live, thank you guys so much for being here. This is my Black Friday deals video because it's Black Friday today. Last night and this morning I spent some time to go through a lot of the deals that I was able to find online, and I have a curated list here that I'm going to share with you guys today, which will go over a lot of the different primary parts of a computer building, such as CPU, motherboard, graphics card, and share with you some of my favorite deals. Now, all these deals are linked in the video's description down below, so you can go down there if you want to just click on those and get straight to them. Also, want to point out that these are my affiliate links, especially for, well, mostly for just the Amazon links, so I do get a little cut, a little kickback if you click those and shop on Amazon, so it's a great way to help me out and buy stuff at the same time. And of course, I wanted to fully disclose that right from the get-go. So I'm going to dive straight into this too. Right now, I'm going to do this by category, so we'll start out with CPUs. I'm going to start out with Intel CPUs, and our first candidate is a Core i7-7800X on Amazon for $310, marked down from about $390. This is a Skylake-X processor, 6 cores, 12 threads, and if you're interested in getting into the high-end desktop space, this is kind of the entry level for that. I like talking about entry-level high-end desktop processors. But it's a significantly reduced price, and granted, there's of course arguments to be made about X299 versus X399, but don't worry, I'll be getting to X399 as well. If you want to step up to the 8-core version, the 7820X, $444 over on Amazon for this one, and this is marked down even less than it was last night, so $155 off, more than 25%, 26% off, according to Amazon. Going to ship within a couple days there, so for high-end desktop lovers, there's a few nice options there for you. The 7700K is last generation from Intel, Kaby Lake, but still a very viable processor, especially if your focus is mainly going to be gaming. Not too significantly reduced, but about $300 right now, savings of about 60 bucks. So if you can find a reasonably priced Z270 motherboard to pair this with, and I do have at least one of those that I'll be getting to in a bit, that's going to be a nice way to get yourself a good gaming system for a nice discount over what those CPUs cost earlier this year, particularly before Coffee Lake came out. Now, I want to apologize to you guys because I put the 8700K on here. Oh no, look, it just updated. Wow, alright, it just updated. I only put the 8700K on here because it is arguably one of the best, or maybe even the best, purely gaming processor that you can get right now as far as clock speeds and performance goes. And apparently you can actually order it from Amazon right now for $400, which is still about $20 more than what they said the MSRP was going to be. So I'm only including this here just because it seems to be available right now. It's going to be in stock on December 1st, so you can order it now for $400 and it'll ship out in about a week. And for hardcore Intel fans, I know there are people who are looking for this, and they do seem to be selling out despite their limited stock. So there you go. Let's move on to AMD processors. Some really, really good deals on the AMD space. I mean, if you weren't excited about Ryzen already, Ryzen discounted even better. The Ryzen 5 1600, one of the most popular kind of entry-level, I want to say entry-level, but kind of mid-range gaming and production processors. It's got 6 cores and 12 threads, and it's a very good processor, and it's $190. That's $30 off the list price at $220. Pair this with a budget B350 motherboard, and you have a very powerful configuration for not much money. The Ryzen 7 1700 would be a step up from that. It's only about, well, like $50 more. I mean, you might as well just get this, right? You get an 8-core, 16 threads, and you can overclock this. So you can make this equivalently compatible, or like equivalent performance-wise to the 1800X with a bit of overclocking. You will need a slightly better motherboard if you do want to go like balls to the wall overclocking with something like a 1700 or an 1800X. The 1800X you can get for $320. It is a decent markup from that 1700. If you're comfortable with overclocking, definitely go with the 1700 over the 1800X. But the 1800X does have really nice out-of-the-box speeds, and it will possibly get you the best top ends, like single-core speed there. High-end Ryzen is called Threadripper. AMD launched this platform much to the chagrin of Intel earlier this week, and earlier this year, and they've also dropped the prices. So the 1900X originally listed for $600, quickly dropped to $550. Now it's down to $450, full $100 off. If you want to jump from 8 cores to 12 cores and 24 threads, the 1920X can be had for $650. It's $150 off the list of $800. And in my opinion, one of the best deals right now when it comes to just pure performance for your money. $800 for the 1950X, 16 cores and 32 threads. Just really, really, like if you need to do video editing or number crunching or animation or anything like that, that really requires a lot of CPU horsepower, 1950X is awesome for that. So check it out. Let's move on to some CPU coolers. Just a few listed here. This is a nice budget CPU cooler, does a very good job. It's by Enermax and it looks very nice because it's got all black fins and everything like that. The fan that it comes with is a little gaudy because it's got these LEDs, but this is the ETS T40 on sale right now for $22. Very solid air cooler, looks very nice. Wide range of compatibility with cases, just make sure your case is tall enough to fit it. And that's marked down from $46. That's more than half off the list price. That's pretty good. If you're into all-in-one liquid cooling, typically you would have had to spend, say, $50 plus to get yourself in on that. The MasterLiquid Lite 120 is only $30 right now on Amazon, savings of $20. This is sort of a basic entry-level all-in-one liquid cooler, but liquid is the most efficient way of dissipating heat from your CPU. So if you're interested in that, especially if you're going to move it around and ship it or something like that, I think this is a really good deal for a little all-in-one from Cooler Master. If you want to step up a little bit to a 240, this is the MasterLiquid, not the Lite. So it looks a little bit nicer. You get some sleeving on the tubing and stuff like that, and of course a larger radiator and another fan. $65 over on Newegg. This one is also AM4 compatible, so really nice solid option. If you're going to be like overclocking that 1700 or something like that, I think this would be a great pairing for that. Let's move on to graphics cards. This is the GTX 1080. Now you should, right now, graphics cards, granted the pricing has been a little messed up over the past few months, if not half of a year. So you should expect to get, you can get a GTX 1080 for around $500. You can get a GTX 1070 for around $400. 1070 Ti, I guess, for around $450, although I didn't really choose any 1070 Ti's. I was mainly focusing on the 1080s and the 1070s. But 1080 here from Gigabyte for $510. Not terrible. Not awesome, but not terrible. A GTX 1070 here from MSI for $410, and then there's a $10 mail-in rebate. I don't want Premiere. There's a $10 mail-in rebate card, so you get it for $400 total. And then this one I thought was interesting. This is a Micro Center deal, and you do have to go into the store, so you might want to double check if you're close enough to one and if they have it in stock in your location. But this is a GTX 1070 Seahawk, $400 straight up, available with a rebate, so you can get it down to $380. And it's a, I mean, you need the rest of a liquid cooling loop for this because it comes with a bits power liquid cooler attached to it. But less than $400 for a 1070 with the liquid cooler is a really good deal. I mean, that block by itself would probably be an extra $100 on top of that. So hey, if you're close to a Micro Center, well, you're lucky as is, but maybe check out that deal. If you're looking for something a little bit more in the budget range, the GTX 1050 is a very nice entry-level card, 2 gigs. If you're playing at 1080, you can handle most games with this card. This is an Amazon deal, but check this out. And just a heads up for any of you guys shopping on Amazon, sometimes the listed price is not the price that's available here. Oh, it's because it's out of stock. That's what happened. All right. This happened as I was getting these lined up and whatever. So I guess this is one of my deals that ran out of stock between the time when I lined everything up and I did it. But it is available for $87.99. Is allowing... Oh, look. It's letting me add to the cart. It's temporarily out of stock, so it won't actually let me check out. Or maybe it'll let me check out and then it'll ship it later. I don't know. But $90. Anyway. Not too much crazy going on there, but let's talk about AMD. AMD cards are very overpriced, so it is of note to mention that the RX 580 is actually selling for MSRP. Again, it's like up to you whether you want to decide if this is a really good deal or if it's just like, well, okay, I was really waiting on an RX 580. But if you do want a FreeSync monitor, this is good news because a MSRP RX 580 pairs up very well with like a discounted FreeSync monitor. Anyway, $10 rebate card as well. This is an aftermarket cooler version by PowerColor. It's the Red Dragon, so $240. Nice to be able to actually buy an RX 580 for that much. Moving on to the next category, which is motherboards, though. We have a few of these, and I've, again, tried to separate them, so we're starting with the Intel ones. This is a Z270 board, so this would go very well with the Kaby Lake CPU, like that 7700K that I mentioned earlier. Only $110 for the ASUS Prime Z270. This one has a solid power delivery configuration, so you'll be able to overclock it, as well as all of the modern features that you would expect with Z270, like M.2 NVMe support and all that good stuff. Very nice discount, $50 off, down to $110. Only available for another 14 hours. Of the deals I'm talking about today, a lot of these are going to end later today because they're Black Friday deals, but a lot of them will proceed through the weekend. Here's a Z370 board. So if you did invest in the Kaby Lake processor, if you really, really wanted to get that 8700K or maybe 8600K, this is a good Z370 board. This is the Gaming 7 from Gigabyte Aorus, which is on the higher end of their gaming series. They have a 3, 5, and 7, so it's going to have a really nice power delivery, nice array of features when it comes to expandability, as well as, you know, the blingy stuff like RGB. $200 right now, $20 mail-in rebate cards, so $180 for a premium Z370 board. I think that's a pretty good deal too. Let's move to the high-end Intel. We got an X299, so if you were considering any of those Intel Skylake-X CPUs I talked about at the beginning, a good pairing for those. This one's only $219.99, and you get a $40 mail-in rebate card, so that brings it down to $180. This is the Aorus Gaming 3. So it is a little bit more on the entry level when it comes to X299, but when you consider the high-end motherboards, X299 on Intel side and X399 on AMD side, the AMD motherboard is actually a lot more expensive. So it is kind of a contrast to the amount you have to pay for the CPUs that you can get the motherboards for a little bit less, and I think $180 for this one is a pretty good deal. Let's move on to a B350 board. This is the ASRock AB350 Pro 4. This is according to Gamers Nexus and BuildZoid, who recently did a nice breakdown of a lot of the B350 boards, which are often sort of meh when it comes to the actual power delivery. This has one of the most solid power delivery configurations, as well as a bit of actual cooling on the power delivery when it comes to B350 boards. It's $75 normally, and right now you can get a $20 mail-in rebate that brings it down to $55. So you can pair this with a nice 6-core Ryzen, even an 8-core, and do some overclocking. You don't want to go high-end 8-core overclocking with this all the time, but definitely make sure you have some airflow over those VRMs. But again, very solid entry-level board. X370, if you want to step it up to something a little bit nicer for a Ryzen platform AM4 motherboard. This is the ROG Strix X370-F Gaming AM4 X370. So X370 gets you, dual GPU configurations and a couple other features, but mainly just the X370 boards tend to be built a little bit better. So this one has very solid power delivery for overclocking, and there's a little rebate form right here. You can click on and download that. $15 more off gets it to $115. I think that's a very nice combination. That and the R7 1700 I think is a really, really solid combo for less than $400. All right, X399. Very expensive motherboards. Even right now on Black Friday, there's none that I could find that were below $330 to $340. So if you're already going to spend $330 or $340 on an X399 motherboard, then why not just get like the best one, or at least one of the best ones, the ROG Zenith Extreme. The crazy overbuilt one that has all sorts of high-end overclocking features. It's an ROG. It is the Extreme, so like chances are ASUS, unless they do a new revision of this, isn't going to come out with much more beyond this on X399. So that is marked down $175, down from $550 all the way to $375. So if you're looking at an X399 board, this is a really solid contender. Before now, like $550, it's like, all right, it's a super premium, for people who have money falling out their butt or whatever. But anyway, let's move on to memory. Memory is challenging right now. It's very overpriced in general, so hard to find too many deals. But here's a couple solid kits, especially if you're looking at Ryzen. This is the Corsair Vengeance LPX kit, which is just insanely good compatibility, particularly with Ryzen, running at DDR4 3000, which will run at 2933 on a Ryzen platform, $160. This has been going for over $200 for the past, I don't know, month or two that I've looked at it. So that's a solid kit. It's 2x8 gigs and get you up and running. A little bit less money for again, solid DDR4 kit. This is DDR4 2800. I wouldn't get this for Ryzen. You're probably going to have a little bit more challenge with compatibility there, but if you're getting an Intel platform, definitely a solid choice here for only $140. DDR4 2800 is perfectly adequate when it comes to speed, and of course XMP support. You're always going to just be able to plug that in and get it to work with Intel CPUs. Next up is storage. I have some SSDs and I have some, I think I have one hard drive. This is a nice price per gigabyte option here from Crucial, the 525 gig for $130, marked down about 20 bucks. There's also the 275 gig version of this. Just click on that little thing. That's only $80, which you know, isn't insanely good price for an SSD, but it is a little bit more capacity than you get with the 240 gig or 256 gig, and about the same price that you pay for those. And the MX300 is a solid SSD. Here's a really good price for 480 gig SSD, but you do got to jump through at least one hoop, and bear in mind that this is a mail-in rebate deal. So this is a 480 gig Patriot Ignite solid 480 gig SSD, just a SATA one. Price is $160. There's a rebate, so that brings it down to $135. Now, on top of this, there is a current Fries.com newsletter that's going out, and you can get an additional $35 off of this. It's a unique promo code, so you got to go to the Fries website, and you got to sign up for their promo code emails, which I believe you can do via this little icon in the top right. Then they'll issue you a unique promo code, but that means you can get this 480 gig SSD for $100. And as long as, again, you're willing to jump through a couple hoops, that's a really good price. A couple more SSDs. Actually, want to point out Rakuten right now has a 20% off site-wide deal going on. You got to use promo code in order to activate it. The promo code is, what is it? BF20. BF20, use that on checkout. So you can get 20% off, for instance, this ADATA 256 gig SSD lists for $85. That brings it down to $62, at least if the math here is correct, but that's a pretty good deal for 256, I'm sorry, $68 is what that brings it down to. And for a high-end SSD like the Samsung Pro 960, which you have a hard time getting a discount on because it's one of the pretty much the fastest NVMe SSD that's out there, so they don't get discounted very often. Right now it's $290, and with that 20% off site-wide, you can get it now to $250, which is probably the best price I've seen on that particular SSD, and it is insanely fast. If you need the fast, go with the 960 Pro. 4 terabytes Barracuda hard drive from Seagate for $90. Anyone who needs some mass storage, it's a very good price for that. This is another one that's ending soon, only on for about 14 more hours. And, well, not quite lastly, but next up is going to be a few cases. I like some of the case discounts going on right now. Again, just a knockoff of $10, $15, $20 here and there, but makes it a much better option, especially. I mean, when you're rolling in all these Black Friday deals together, you combine that all, and then you're like, wow, I got this whole computer for X dollars or whatever. The Carbide 270R from Corsair is a really solid case. Side panel window, good ventilation, easy to build in, and yeah, good reviews all around. $55, down from $70. Solid choice. This is the Masterbox Lite 5. This is over on Newegg. This is only $60, and a $10 mail-in rebate card brings it down to $50. And it's got RGB fans on the front if you're into that, as well as tempered glass. So that's a solid deal for that. Bear in mind that the front piece here is plastic and the side piece is tempered glass, just to clarify that. But again, solid case from Cooler Master. Plenty of room inside for your full-size ATX build. A basement power supply shroud area too. I just had a couple cases there, so there you go. EVGA's Supernova. This is power supplies. Got a couple of these. This is a very solid 80+ gold EVGA power supply with all black cabling. It's fully modular. Just a really solid power supply. $72. This is kind of the price you would expect to spend for something that's maybe like 80+ bronze or something like that, like a higher end 80+ bronze unit. But 650 watts is going to be adequate for the vast majority of gaming PCs. And yeah, just a solid deal there from EVGA. Corsair has their CX550. This is the modular one for $50. So if you're on a little bit more of a budget, you can save a little bit there. And again, This one has all black cabling. It's partially modular. It's even got a pretty black and white label that won't clash with the rest of your build. And finally, if you want max efficiency for at least $1, here's a Roseville Quark Series, 750 watts, so you get a bit more juice with this one. 80 plus platinum rated though, and this one is $90, but there's a $25 mail-in rebate card, so it brings it down to $65. So a really solid price for a 750 watt 80 plus platinum unit right there. Let's round things out with some monitors, because I know you guys love monitors. It's what you stare at all the time when you're playing on your computer, so having a good monitor is very nice. This is a Costco deal for an HP Omen 32-inch Quad HD gaming monitor. So it's 2560 by 1440, and it is $250. 32-inch, so sizable. A sizable monitor here, a good refresh rate, the higher resolution, 75 hertz, and I was not able to clarify 100% if this is FreeSync compatible. So maybe the reviews will say down here. Someone bought this on Black Friday a year ago, apparently. Anyway, you guys can probably look that up. By the way, if you're hearing snoring in the background, it's because Hero's fallen asleep completely over there. But let's move on to a BenQ unit. 27-inch 1440 monitor, so same resolution as the last one, but a little bit smaller. This one has really good refresh rate and reaction. I'm thinking of the wrong word here, but 4 millisecond response time is the word I was looking for. Good brightness and everything. Height adjustable, so $250 as well. This one's probably going to get you a little bit better picture quality, whereas the trade-off here is the size. But same price there, $250 over on Newegg. If you're going a little bit more high-end, and if you're one of those people who has a NVIDIA graphics card right now and has been considering FreeSync, but the FreeSync monitors are just always so expensive for the night. I'm sorry, G-Sync. If you're considering G-Sync, but they're always so expensive, the ROG Swift 27-inch, 2560 by 1440, so you can push it with the with a decent mid-range graphics card, 165 hertz, G-Sync, $480. This is down from $700, so that's a nice discount in my personal opinion. Yes, it's still a little bit more of a premium than you would pay for an equivalent FreeSync monitor with those same specs, but if you've already got like a GTX 1070 or something like that, this is a really, really nice monitor to pair up with it. If you're on a little bit more of a budget, and if you're also interested in the ultra-wide thing, this is the LG 29-inch IPS LED backlit 21 by 9, so it's ultra-wide, and it's the 1080 resolution, which is basically like 1080 stretched to ultra-wide. I forget what the width, I think it's 3840 by 1080. I forget exactly, but it's 1080 stretched to ultra-wide sorry, 2560 by 1080 is the actual resolution here. 21 by 9 aspect ratio, $180, and this one does support FreeSync. So this is a great combination with something like an RX 580 or any other FreeSync compatible AMD graphics card, I guess. If you got a VEGA or something like that. Oh no, wrong link. Anyway though, that is all for my video right now. So thank you guys so much for watching. These are my Black Friday deals, and I'm going to be continually checking these throughout the day today. So I'm going to go in this video's description and I'll update that and add some more links as time goes by. So if some of these deals run out, or if other deals pop up, I will hopefully add some of those. And if you guys find any deals and you want to post those in the video's description down there, definitely do that as well. And let other people know what kind of deals you have found. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Do hit the thumbs up button as well if you enjoyed it. And I've got more videos coming super soon. Happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays to all of you guys who are celebrating the holidays right now. And I am going to go and have breakfast. All right, we'll see you later, guys.